Talking about energy management, we have a lot of things to juggle.
People want to know structure, routine. What I think though is this understanding that our energy is cyclical.
Circadian rhythm is that there are 24 hours in a day. The infradian rhythm is a woman's 28-day cycle. I now understand my energy cycle.
The pursuit of balance really is understanding your energy. A lot of creatives don't recognize burnout. Then you wonder why you start hating your life. You're tired.
The industrial age created this productivity-based self-worth. I don't think that our physiology has evolved from this.
The future belongs to the right brain thinkers.
Talking about energy management, what are some of the ways that we have businesses, multiple businesses, separately and together. We have 3 beautiful girls under the age of 10. Obviously a lot of things to juggle. And when people ask, what are the ways that you balance your energy? Some of the things that come to mind that I usually go to in answering is like, I love biohacking.
Yeah.
And since cancer and healing that, which I'm sure will be a whole other episode sometime.
Sure.
We have like a library of biohacking tools.
So many.
Which we love, and we'll put on our website if you go to therarethings.com if you want to check any of those out. Yeah. I'm sure we'll do a whole episode on that too.
Sure, yeah.
But like, what are some of the other frameworks or things that we do for energy management? One that's coming to mind is pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Where did that come from? What's the back? We should tell the backstory. What's the backstory to this?
So, do you want to first say what pumpkin means?
Yeah. So basically, here's the scenario: is that like, as soon as I think I literally just need less sleep. I think men do, stereotypically.
Maybe
just a little bit.
Also, maybe depending on the season, the cycle.
The season and the cycle, for sure. There's definitely seasons where I definitely sleep a lot. But there's definitely times where, you're like, hey, I'm ready to go to bed. And I'm like, I can't quiet my head down yet. There's no way I can go to bed. And so we'll keep talking. And I don't know why I like to tuck you. I like to tuck you in. I tuck you into bed. And then I'll just keep talking to you. And I keep talking and talking and talking. And what about this? And sometimes it turns into a bit of a brainstorm session. It's so fun. And then the ideas are flying back and forth. But I don't remember when it first started. I think it was when we moved into our newer house. There was like this moment where I just started seeing in your eyes. I was like, I better shut up. She's got to go to sleep. This isn't good, and I would be fine. Be like, I got to go to bed. I got to go to sleep. So we just came up with the phrase.
Well, I wanted a code word to say instead of being like, I'm done. Get out. Because sometimes I want to hear everything, of course, as you're brain dumping at the end of the day or telling me that if we didn't have time earlier, but like when I'm going to bed and I'm exhausted and I'm in bed, now you're telling me, I'm like, I want to hear it, but also I'm getting to that point where I'm cranky.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create a code word that was like, I love you, but leave me alone right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the code word became pumpkin. And I got this from some relationship coach that it actually originated from her strategy that you say pumpkin hours as the time after this time is when the carriage turns into a pumpkin and no one can go for a ride. Yeah. It's actually related to a more of an intimacy thing.
Sure.
But for us, we use it as like, all right, pumpkin. And then I love that you just say no more. Yeah. Or we've even been out. Like we were at a friend's house once and I was like, babe, turning into a pumpkin. And I felt so loved. Like you got up so fast. You're like, we gotta go.
So you guys, I turned into a football linebacker. Get out of the way.
I felt so protected in that moment and how perfect that we have the language to be able to say, I'm really tired and I probably have like my fuse is getting shorter now.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. I love that though, because
there's safety in it.
It's protection in each other's energy.
Yeah.
Not that either of us is solely responsible for it, but because we also foster each other's recharge. Mm-hmm. And I think that's unique.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we first started talking about just being together, that one of the foundations of the home was that the house needed to be a place of recharge, not another place to defend ourselves and our dreams in. Remember that?
Yeah.
And so the house, if the house is not a place for us to, like you and I are out there putting our armor on sometimes, fighting battles, trying to like, you know, get our visions out into the world. If we have to also go back to the house at the end of the day, keep our armor on and like keep defending, no, please, I have this vision. I need to go, like we have to defend the vision, like, oh my gosh, that's so intense. And you and I both know that's like.
And I want to be at home and I want to be feminine at home.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, in business, understandably, as a woman, sometimes I got to have the blinders on and be in kind of a masculine drive energy. Mm. But at home, I don't want to be. And so it's cool that we've kind of figured out a good flow, some different frameworks or code words for that, or even just sometimes just asking like, what do you need?
Yeah. What do you need?
What do you need?
What do you need? I love when you ask me that. What do you need? I'm like, alone time. And I need 8 hours of phone calls. I'm exhausted. Like, the other thing I really like also though, I love the pumpkin thing. And I like how much we really honor that in each other. But the other thing I really like is, I think one of the questions when people ask like, how do you guys balance it all? I think sometimes what they're actually asking is like, what's your routine and your structure like?
Everyone wants to know their routine.
To know that stuff.
And listen, my skincare routine. No one asks my skincare routine. I always laugh when Love's influencer videos are like that.
My skincare routine. No one's asking. Everyone wants to know my hair keeping.
Your hair. My hair keeping. I knew you were going to go there.
So it seems like people want to know structure. They want to know routine. And I laugh at that question because I am not great at structure. You know, I kind of, as far as like morning routine, evening routine, I'm still not.
I wake up at 5 a.m. and then I'd run full sprint while staring directly at the sun.
Yeah. But what I think though is really cool that we've gotten into is this understanding that our energy is cyclical, and that there's room for seasons in life where, I mean, I'll get up crazy early for a while, sometimes not on purpose, but I still will get up for a long time.
Yeah, you were just in that season.
I just was in that season, you know, but then the season I'm in right now, I'm sleeping way more, you know, and it's cyclical. Like it's like there's multiple structures. There's the structure that we have for when there's, there's the event structure, which we both know that's like, and it's like.
Event structure, you usually don't even sleep at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually get a hotel for just in our own city, which is silly. But so what I got to do to protect my energy?
Yes, it's a protect your energy and also the convenience of walking across the street instead of driving 25 minutes. So it's like, that makes sense.
Yeah. But also it's energy management and protection.
Yeah.
I'm in the creative producing zone. You kind of do the same, you know, you have the same kind of thing. And we have these like, and so maybe that's like better for people to hear that there's not like this, I live and die by this structure and schedule every day. And maybe we should be more like that. But what works for us is having like, hey, I'm going into event mode, or hey, I'm going into, you know, massive project mode. And that's where the balance comes in, because there's like a big output zone and then there's like a big recharge zone, and they're totally different lifestyles.
Yeah. We've got our family whiteboard calendar of family stuff, trips, kids' school things. Then we also have like our business whiteboard calendar of when you have an event, when I'm out of town, when I'm speaking somewhere, where you're speaking somewhere. And then we have Friday date nights.
Yeah.
You know what else has been like so, I think, life-changing for me, and I like shout this from the rooftops to any woman I can, and men, because any man that has a woman in their life should also, I think, be aware of this, is the Infradian rhythm, the Infradian cycle, the Infradian rhythm.
I was hoping we were going to talk about this.
Yeah, this could be a whole podcast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So when I was going through cancer, and so mine was cervical, I got off of birth control. I was on birth control for 16 years. And what shocked me was just how much my body had to find a new normal by not being on artificial hormones. And what really happens, and I'm like, I will try to not get too loud from this soapbox, but when women are on artificial hormones, birth control, it shuts off the communication between the brain and the ovaries, and their menstrual cycle is like a fifth vital sign. And it's actually really amazing to be able to understand and be able to know in your body what's going on. And when you're on birth control, you don't actually have a real menstrual cycle. It's just called a withdrawal. And for anyone listening that's like, oh, this is weird that we're talking about this, like, it's
Stick
human.
with us.
It is human.
Yeah. Don't make it weird. Stick with us. It's a huge point.
But so people have heard of the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is that there are 24 hours in a day. We all understand this. But the world mostly operates off of the circadian rhythm because it is mostly run by men. The infradian rhythm is a woman's 28-day cycle. And the 28-day cycle is the cycles of the hormones going on in a woman's body. So there's like the follicular, ovulation, luteal, and menstrual, which is when the woman has her period. Those 4 phases of the cycle are very equivalent to the 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. And when I was learning my body again after getting off of 16 years of birth control, which is infuriating, and I will get down from the soapbox.
No, it was tough to watch you.
Oh, gosh.
The transition off of the birth control just to like being a natural cycle, infradian cycle, it was intense to watch. Your body was like relearning how to talk to itself.
Mm-hmm. And it was like this silent torture hurricane of emotions going on in my body. Like I felt like there was always something wrong. And at the same time, I was also dealing with the trauma of getting a cancer diagnosis. And we also just started a brand new business at the time that was very heavy, and moved into a new house.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, it was a lot. As I started to regulate my hormones, though, there was this one time a month that I hadn't tracked yet, that it was at this specific time every month. There was this one time every month where I was like, I'm exhausted, tired, I'm cranky for no reason. What's going on? And it wasn't during my period, which I think most people would blame, like, oh, you're on your period, whatever.
Right.
It's the luteal phase that's like right before menstrual. So it's, if you think of follicular, ovulation, luteal, menstrual, it's spring, summer, fall, winter.
Fall. Luteal, right?
Fall is like when you start to go prepare for hibernation. Because of winter, you're hibernating in winter. So we came up with this phrase, luteal is brutal.
Luteal.
Luteal is brutal.
It's cool because as soon as, like, we have language for that now, though.
Yeah.
And we know, like, that cycle, like, that's something that's very pumpkin season.
That's pumpkin. Yes, it really is in fall.
That's harvesting pumpkin.
But it doesn't mean that I'm a psycho every luteal. Now it means I know when it's coming. And those are that few day window when it's like my progesterone and my estrogen is at its like highest and lowest, whatever. That's my introspective days. Yeah. It's like the equivalent of not trying to run a marathon at 11 o'clock at night when you should be sleeping. It's not that, oh, for these days every month, she's going to be a terror to be around. It's, I now understand my energy cycle. My follicular and my ovulation, I'm like ready to party. I'm so social. Yeah. I'm crazy productive. I get so much stuff done.
You're a creative power.
Oh, it's a superpower when people understand it.
Yeah. I love that you taught this to our girls.
I tell this to everyone.
You tell us hey, look, the luteal cycle and understanding the infradian, that it is a superpower.
Yeah.
It's a massive superpower. So it's fun to watch and foster that and know, like, here it comes. And then besides that, then a lot of pumpkins, you know?
Yeah. And it's so cute that for the kids, we've explained to them, because we got 3 girls. They're all going to get to that age soon where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they were anticipating that, oh my God, it's going to be the worst thing in the world.
It's going to be terrible.
It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. And I was like, actually, here's another perspective. It's actually like a superpower when you know it. And when I'm in my luteal, it's actually my introspective days. That's when I write. That's when I do yoga. That's when I read. And I'm like, it's like my learning and just introspective. It's not that I have to avoid everyone so that my wrath doesn't come out and I turn into a dragon.
No.
Now I just understand it. And now, knowing that, you haven't even, like, there's been times where before I had the language for it, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And then you were like, do you think you're just wintering? Oh, is now what's happening?
Is it just the winter?
But now, I don't think you notice.
Barely. But we also have the language.
I also tell you now.
Yeah, we know it's coming up.
Yeah.
We prepare for it. We don't make it weird.
Yeah.
And we tell the girls it's a superpower.
You joke about like knowing when we're all on the cycle and like coming in with.
I'm gonna run in with the fertilizer, just dump M&Ms in, and what do you guys need? Super dad, just running in with chocolate syrup and kisses.
Such a good dad.
Yeah, I just don't want to make it weird. It's not weird.
Well, and I love that. I love that it's not weird with you because it's so normal, and we have 3 girls, and they're so powerful and
I'm gonna teach them to shame their bodies. That's dumb.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's cool that we love personality assessments and things. So like we know our Enneagrams, our human designs. We know all the girls' human designs. Oh my gosh. Like
Right.
if I would have grown up knowing my human design, first of all, for anyone that knows human design, there's these different kind of design types that kind of speak to the way that your energy is, how you operate, your strengths, your weaknesses, your strategies for success. I am a projector. My parents and my brother were manifesting generators, which is polar opposite. So I grew up in a world of manifesting generators, which is very like go, 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 work, work, work.
Which is what I am.
Which is what Steven is.
Yeah.
And you now live in a home of projectors. Me and the 3 girls, we are all projectors. Which could you imagine if I grew up raised as a projector instead of feeling like I was broken and like I actually don't want to. It's not that I don't want to work hard because like I do, but it's working hard in different ways, different strategies, different superpowers, and like different strategies for leadership and creation instead of being a machine.
I mean, you want to learn about energy management, like how you operate. I mean, human design is like a roadmap to understanding that stuff. And I think that's what's so cool about it is like the pursuit of balance really is understanding your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love this topic because it's like, all right, if there's infradian rhythms, there's circadian rhythms. I think one of the things that I laugh when people ask, what's your balance like? As if we're not also on the road, on the journey, trying to figure it out ourselves. So, I mean, it was like 2 months ago. Again, another coach was like, Steven, you actually, I have a healthy dose of feminine in me, which is why I'm super creative. And
you're very emotionally intelligent and aware. You can read people really well.
Well, and that's what she was saying. She's like, every time you go so she was like, okay, imagine Marley when she's going through and she's got, the infradian rhythm and she's like, did you actually also do that? But they're just called projects. And whenever there is, and that's why I think it's important sometimes, like, look, I'll stay in a hotel right next to our house is because I'm in the middle of my winter. I just gave birth, if you will, to a project. I put my soul into it. Like it's still, I think a lot of guys who go and create a lot, they feel broken because they don't have like I could set my watch to my dad's routine. It is amazing, but for people who are, I'm not saying my dad's insanely creative, but there's also a lot of creatives out there that don't recognize that it's actually a super similar cycle that we go through with any kind of project or project management. And when the project is over, where burnout just sits on the horizon is when you just go straight back into the next one, take no time for actual legitimate rest and recovery and recharge. And then then you wonder why you start hating your life. How come that project didn't go as well? How come you're tired? Get some rest. You might be in your own version of a cycle. And if you look at projects that way and management that way, it's like energy management and balance just laces straight in with that. I love that we have language for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's like the personal energy management of what it means, to your cycle. Right. There's also, it's funny as it is, I'm about to say is I have a cycle, which is true. It's just like, it's the production of hardcore creative work.
The creative cycle, the recharge cycle. Because, I mean, I've worked with some incredible copywriters that they're like, I need to go into the woods, into a cabin in the woods, and I need to write, and then don't talk to me for a week.
Yeah.
And at first I'd be like, what do you mean? That's so
what's wrong with
yeah, but then they come out of
hibernation.
Hibernation, and they're like, here's my creation.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for that.
Yeah.
I wish that more people were selfish with their masterpieces and what they needed to create. I mean, look at people like Bill Gates, that he has Think Week.
Yeah.
Like he will go into some luxurious mansion in the woods, and he's got his bag of books, and he will go there just to think.
Yeah.
And whatever anyone thinks about him, he obviously is a bajillionaire, and if that's part of his routines that he needs, that's what he does.
Yeah. It's powerful. I think there's a lot of accidental bleeding crossover for someone who might be like starting something rare in their life, some rare pursuit, to take the lifestyle and behavioral habits of like the Industrial Revolution. I mean, the whole reason that we have bells in school is to train us so that we can act like better factory workers.
Yes.
Well, if you pursue something that is rare, like you're going to be wearing a lot of different hats, and there's going to be a lot of different creative periods. There's going to be some hustle phases. There's going to be some phase, like you can't map like that. That's why I laugh every time. What's your guys' work routine? I was like, well, it kind of depends what's going on. We're changing it based on what's going on, not saying, and I know that there's people listening or watching to this who would be like, that sounds like you're not being disciplined. But in fact, I'm working with my energy. And because of that, my longevity has increased.
Well, you mentioned the industrial age. The industrial age created this productivity-based self-worth because back then you were literally more worthy the more that you worked because you were getting paid by the hour, and how much can you shovel and brick and whatever that they were creating back then. But we don't live in that time anymore. But we still, I don't think that our physiology has evolved from this productivity-based self-worth that we feel like I am more worthy the more that I work, and I have to keep climbing up this mountain because that's where my self-worth is, at the top. But it's just this perpetual will never be at the top if you don't learn how to work with the energy.